Oh, there's donuts out there. There's more sugar to cling to the curtains.
Yeah.
Of any of the information aired on the following program. These are the people, the movers and the shakers, the businesses.
Okay, let's sell some houses.
Let's sell some houses.
Who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh
We can talk about
Works
Easter, too.
on the voice of Pittsburgh.
Here.
News Radio 1020 KDKA.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is underway in full swing, the spring market, and you've come to the right place. She is Lauren Klein, PittsburghPropertyDiva.com, 412-628-8286. Coldwell Banker, Murraysville is where she hangs her hat. She's an incredible performer, what she does as a real estate professional. We've got a lot of stuff to get to on the program today, but the best part about this show is the interaction with you, the callers, and it's an opportunity to talk about your seller's checklist, appraisals, vacant property, listings, buying, selling, anything. Particular parts of this great city, the multi-list that maybe you've been looking at for the last couple of weeks and are saying, help me, Lauren Klein, help me. Well, she is here to do that. So let's get going, folks, on the phone lines. Anything that you have on your mind in the way of real estate, 866-391-1020 or Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com. So it is underway, and I guess we should begin with that seller's checklist. Good morning, Lauren Klein.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here.
I mean, money's
love
nice,
it.
but those stories are what really is all about.
I love it, and I get to do it all the time, and nothing makes me happier. But for our sellers out there, and just a short segue from the last segment about spring cleaning, how important it is to have your house in that spring cleaned, show ready mode, and nothing like a good cleaning to get your house show ready and on the market, ready for your photos. And a clean house that's nice and tidy and smells good shows and smells nice, then, you know, people assume that it's been well maintained.
You know, and we were talking about spring cleaning last hour with John Samick of Service Master, and when you think about it, a little bit can go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I went to school with John's brother.
Yeah, Murraysville.
Jerry and Jeff. Yeah. And Service Master does a great job.
Yeah.
And if you haven't cleaned your house in a really long time, might be best to get a professional in there to sort things out for you.
So if the spiders have a zip.
Then it's completely overwhelming. If you let it go and you don't have a schedule that you keep to, like even a quarterly schedule when it comes to maintaining your furnace and air conditioner and your hot water tank, and get a shop vac downstairs in those rafters, and get the bugs and the, you know, dust and all that kind of stuff. Even quarterly to have a routine is a good thing. But
all right, let me jump in here to take a break, but we're going to open these phone lines up again. And this really is a caller-driven show. She loves to interact with people who are thinking real estate. So whatever is on your mind, or something we're talking about, or you've been kind of scratching your head wondering, you know, what the answer is, she's going to make every attempt to answer for you. So give us a call at 866-391-1020, Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com. Stay tuned.
For me, hit the easy button. And we went to Chris's mom's last night for dinner.
How's your mom doing, Chris?
She's doing well. She's
Good.
adjusting well to living in Pittsburgh.
Oh, my rib cage, Jesus. Parents in his house. It's okay. I won't even get home until about 2. By the time I get home, the next 2 days, I'm just going to go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't feel real good. And then I got to do opening day, which is probably going to be cold and snowy, and got to be outside.
Yeah.
Grandkids. All right, we're back. 866-391-1020, Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com. All right, let's get back to the seller's checklist. Let's kind of prioritize here. Let's say in the A category, what are some of the main things you have to have in that seller's checklist?
Well, when I visit with clients, I take a tour of their house, like a little personal punch list of things to do to get the house ready.
Right.
And that's just on, you know, with my eyes, and I take some notes and just so they have something prioritized for them. But I also leave them with a seller's checklist of things to round up for me before we put the house on the market, so that I'm prepared on my end when I'm ready to launch that listing in the multi-list. So number 1 is have an extra key made for your front door. Have 2 made if you're really smart, because somebody might lock the key inside and then nobody can get in. So
you know anybody who did that?
No, I personally haven't, but
That's something I would do, though.
It happens. I get calls from agents showing my property saying, "Oh my gosh, I locked the key inside the house."
And by the way, folks, if you're going to leave a spare key outside, don't put it under the welcome mat.
Don't put it under the welcome mat.
Some of the places,
No.
I'm like, that's where you put your key.
Yeah, no.
You know?
They have fake rocks, and you can even get a little tiny.
Isn't that a shame that we have to live like
Oh
that?
yeah, it's terrible. But
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You have to accommodate. So have a couple extra keys made.
Okay.
So that I have one in the file just in case somebody locks themselves in or out.
Now see,
You're lock yourself in.
No, you're
Some of
putting the
these houses you
whammy.
can't get out
You're
of.
putting the whammy on me now. I'm going to be banging on the door tonight. No, well, I'm not leaving the house once I get home, so I should be good.
No. Okay, so a couple extra keys. If you have a survey, include it with the materials that you're giving to your agent.
Okay.
If you don't have a survey, you don't need to get one. The new buyer can always order one if they need to or want to. But if you have one handy, give it to your agent so that there's a copy of it for the multi-list. Filling out the seller disclosure. Our West Penn multi-list seller disclosure is 9 pages long.
Oh.
It is. It's 9 pages long. And I leave it with my clients so that they can leisurely fill it out. It looks worse than it is, but it's really important to fill it out accurately to the best of your knowledge and information. And if you don't know the answer to a question on the seller disclosure, there is a box that says unknown. So you don't have to make anything up or go do any heavy-duty research, but you do want to be honest and forthcoming on that seller disclosure to disclose any problems that you do have direct knowledge of.
What do you think? There's some things that people would think, not a problem, but it could be a problem. It could even be a big problem. Because, they're not professionals. That's why you got to have somebody
Right.
like you.
I always just say be honest. If you know about something, excuse me.
God bless you. My child.
If you know about something, write it down.
Right.
If it's been remediated, and I'll give you just an example of a leaky basement.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
If 5 years ago you had some water intrusion,
Right.
big, little, miscellaneous trickle, and you had it corrected, I want you to put it in the seller disclosure. There was a trickle, there was an inch of water, there was water intrusion in 2012, and I had a professional come in, and we had an interior French drain installed and a sump pump, and we've had no problems since. Just be honest, and that way the buyer knows, oh, there was a problem 5 years ago, but it was fixed, and maybe I'll have my home inspector pay special attention to that area.
This is a good opportunity for people listening. If that seller's checklist and there's something you're on the fence about, you could call Lauren now and she could tell you, fact or fiction, what you need to do as far as putting it on the list or not.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is not disclose something
and come back.
Then, and then have that buyer come back and want to litigate something that you didn't disclose.
All right, 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020, or Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com. But when you're selling your house, you want the same respect that you could get when you're buying a house. So you got to look. So you just got to look at it from both sides.
Yes, I totally agree, and I always tell my sellers just be honest. You don't have to give every minutia detail. Like I changed a light bulb last week, but important things like I had the roof replaced or repaired. There was a leak. People are always concerned about water damage.
House is haunted.
Yeah, right. There's nowhere on the seller disclosure.
Have you ever gone through that? No.
No, I don't think so.
I've heard some great stories from real estate professionals, especially during Halloween. But some of the things they've told me too that people disclose, it is amazing what you have to see and what you have to do, and I guess you have seen it pretty much all.
I've seen it. I opened up a closet one time on a walkthrough, and there was a big giant meat cleaver in the closet, just randomly sitting there, like a housewarming gift almost. But it was
so what's wrong with that?
Creepy.
Yeah, that's right. It's very creepy. But you know what, though? Who knows? Maybe it was a butcher's house.
Yeah,
you never
know. It was a big giant meat cleaver.
Okay, so this list, so when you get it done, and then they make the call with you, or they got somebody there, could you say stay or go? Should you show that to your real estate professional, or are you going to look at it normally, that seller's checklist?
You mean the seller disclosure?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I always look through it to make sure it's filled out, completed. Okay, we have to have all those boxes checked. Yes, no.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. And We want it to be completed, and if I have questions when I'm looking through it, I'll go back to the seller and say, hey, can you clarify this for me, just so I know. And if something happens during the list period, we have an addendum that we can add to the seller disclosure that references a certain section on the seller disclosure. For example, if you put a house on the market and you have a problem with the furnace during the list period,
Right.
well, you get the furnace fixed, and I would add a disclosure addendum that just says the furnace needed a new something or other, and it was done in January 2018, and add it to the seller disclosure. So those things are important to buyers.
You know, when people sit down and they think about selling their house, you think they realize there's as much, if not more, than buying a house sometimes? Because they're thinking about, you know, not looking back but moving forward. But you've got to really have your feet planted firmly on the ground before you can move forward.
You have to give it 100% right out of the gate, and once it's listed and launched, then I think then you can just relax for a little bit while the house is showing. I mean, people get anxious while the house is showing.
Rightfully so.
Because they're waiting for a buyer to come in. But it's the preparation period leading up to that actual launch of the listing that is overwhelming to people. And then once it's on the market, I see my clients relax a little bit and the house is showing, and I'm sharing feedback with them, and you know, and then we get an offer, and then we're negotiating inspections and getting ready for appraisal. So it just keeps on going. And if you're organized and you know what's coming, then it's much easier to manage.
Is it?
Yes, I'm a firm believer in preparation.
When do you consider over the hump to where you're looking down to the finish line?
After appraisal, and we have like conditional commitment on the mortgage, and we're waiting for just that clear to close. So the appraisal's good, we have conditional commitment on the loan, and now we're waiting for clear to close, and then I'm giving you your closing instructions. So it's a long process.
We're going to move on to appraisal, and also maybe some vacant property. If you're out there and you have some of that, we'd love to hear from you. And again, anything on your mind, you have carte blanche. All of our lines are open, 866-391-1020. Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKA radio.com. Before we move on to appraisal, any closing comments about seller disclosure you think we need to know about?
Just take your time, fill it out. It looks worse than it is, and usually my clients have it done in 20 minutes, half hour, unless you have a whole bunch of stuff to report. But
listen,
just make sure you fill it out.
Like I notice Coldwell Banker signs more now than ever, obviously because you and Chris are here every week. But again, how does someone choose a real estate professional? Because there's so many to choose from. And obviously you always have that hometown advantage where someone still has their own shingle, and even though some corporate organization has tried to buy them out, they're staying the course and they've kept their family name. And it's kind of hard sometimes when you have lifelong friendships, but you also have to look at what's the best opportunity to get market value for your house and get it sold.
Well, I think you want to take some time to interview at least 2 agents. It's a personal thing. It's a long relationship. So you want to make sure that the person you're dealing with really gets your goals, really understands you, and is available for you, knows that market where you are, and do your research. Go on Zillow. That's where you're going to get most of your agent reviews. If you go on Zillow, you just type in the name of an agent, reviews will come up. How many listings do they have? How many past sales do they have? And that's kind of a good way if you're just trying to
Good
gauge.
measuring stick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to appraisals. Give me some of the nuances of appraisals.
Oh, people get so nervous, and I get nervous about appraisals too. It never.
But nobody ever actually hears what they think their house is worth. Because, I mean, it's like you love all your children the same. Although there might be an argument from my dad on that. But seriously, I mean, come on.
Well, that's why it's important to have an agent who looks at the market for you and says, this is where your house is going to sell, and this is where it should appraise based on the comps, the size, the condition, and the location. Now, sometimes, we overshoot it, and the appraisal comes back low. And the appraisers are there. It's a very subjective process, and they pull comps just like we do, and they go out and they personally look at your house. They go through it. If you are an FHA or VA buyer, your appraisal sticks to that house for 6 months. And conventional, no. You can get another appraisal done on a conventional, but you really, as a seller, want that house to be show ready, and like you were showing it on an open house or a regular showing, and
Like it's opening night. Boom.
big deal. Yeah, get it ready. I want it show ready, and the appraiser's going to come in with his comps and his tape measure, do your square footage, take notes on upgrades that you've made, and we want that sell price on the appraisal to either match or be over what your sales contract is.
She's Lauren Klein, Pittsburgh property diva, Coldwell Banker, Murraysville. Her direct number is 412-628-8286, pittsburghpropertydiva.com. If you'd like to talk to her today, you can call us. Our lines are open, 866-391-1020, or Dollar Bank Instant Access at kdkradio.com. CBS Radio News in just a couple of moments. Good morning.
Twitter.
It's all like,
Organic.
yeah.
Okay.
I got to have a little pledge in my life, though. You know what I mean? A little Windex,
You
little
and me
pledge.
both. that organic stuff's expensive.
Yeah. That's some.
But I'll tell you what, Andy brought me in some Bactron.
With a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, spraying cobwebs. Nothing ever happened.
To have both with wood look tile. 9 a square foot. It truly is the best of both.
So the boys go back today?
And beautiful.
Yes.
Amber wood.
Oh, come on now.
Oh God, we're live. I said that and everybody heard it.
Leave them in there. Okay, I got you.
They want to come in so bad and say something.
No.
No.
I'm- it's just too distracting.
I'm gonna ask them.
Blame it on me or Brock.
Yeah, it's too distracting.
Okay. Well, after, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's coming up after?
Back, you know, Ray.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just let him come in and say hi to
Oh,
Rob.
that's
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember my boys being that young.
Yeah, that's Cannon. He's 9, and
What's his name?
Cannon.
That's a nice name.
And Cash is the one staring at his phone. He's 11.
No.
I shot my cash out of a can. That's why I have nothing.
Oh my God.
CBS News updates. Private auto. Private report
phone's
also
ringing.
says the 2 police officers fired 20 shots.
927-1730.
That's a
in
Zillow
his
lead.
grandmother's backyard. Black Lives Matter leader Tanya Faison says the group did not plan that demonstration last night. Then those autopsy results.
We've always been peaceful. Anger is not the same thing as violence. We are very angry. We're very sad. We're very traumatized.
Rob, I took the boys to eat park the other night.
Yeah.
They got the
CBS
salad
News update,
bar.
I'm Jim Taylor.
You know that green fluff?
You hope
Yeah.
never happens.
You know what I'm talking about? It's not Jello. It's not pudding. It's fluffy.
Okay, I
green.
don't marshmallows.
Pistachio something.
Pistachio. Yeah.
This one comes back with a whole pile of it on his plate, sprinkled with ham, diced ham.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But you know what, though?
I just
God
wanted
bless the little boy.
Yeah.
Let him be a
And he
kid.
ate it. He said, "This is amazing."
Pistachio
amazing.
with cube ham.
That's okay. Hey, they got the gut to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I was telling her they were just with her. I was at the Larry Richards hometown thing.
Yeah.
But I told her if that was me, I'd have been like, "Nah, you're putting that back," because he's got a soft stomach. You know, if he puts something in his mouth that he doesn't like, man, everything comes up. And for me, I'd have been like, "No way, there's gonna be no barfing in the
Yeah,
park."
it's hard.
But she let him do it,
He ate it.
and he loved
He
it.
said it was amazing.
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 I used to love that stuff. Not with the ham on it.
Yeah, the fluff.
Yeah.
That's just.
Yeah, it's like pudding with Cool Whip in it.
All I got down yesterday was a chicken leg, man. That baked chicken leg, that's it.
Baked chicken
I haven't been
leg.
able to do anything.
Overstuffed pepperoni and everything breads. When choosing your desserts at Oakmont Bakery, your choices
I'll
are
put that
endless.
blanket over my head about 5 o'clock today and try to stay in bed till tomorrow.
Yes.
And do the same thing for the next 2 days. Get rid of this.
What time do you have to be up tomorrow?
1:30.
In 1:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Soft
I know.
mini lady
It's
Loves,
okay.
and many other
I'll be
cookie
fine.
favorites.
And then I'll get out of here early on Monday and I'll get like a nice.
Easter Saturday at 5 p.m. for order pickups and last minute selections.
Maybe this is the end. Maybe I'll start
Staff will
getting
be
better
double to
now.
reduce your
You
wait
still
time.
feel like
We have a call.
I got really sick, man.
Bill.
I was sick Thursday and Friday, really bad, throwing up. And
oh, no way.
I literally, Wednesday night, my stomach got as hard as a rock. And I thought, dear God, I
Are you
thought,
drinking enough water?
oh yeah.
Okay.
I literally, it was 1:30 in the morning, I was in the basement on the floor, and I'm thinking,
This is it.
this is it. I mean, it was just
midnight, low 34. Easter Sunday, partly sunny,
horrible.
cooler.
We have a call.
Yep, I see it.
That's all I can see from here.
Lawrence County.
What's the question?
Financing.
Oh, financing. Okay. I can't see that far.
But Brock spelled it Dia
The
Nancy.
following is paid
Stand
for
by, guys.
Property
Here we go.
Goods LLC.
You know he's got to type it in.
These are the
Dia
people who make
Nancy.
Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on the voice of Pittsburgh. KK.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and this, of course, is the Pittsburgh Property Diva. And we've got Lauren Klein here until 9 o'clock. She represents Coldwell Banker out of Murraysville. Time to get to the phones. Let's say hi to Bill in Lawrence County. Bill, good morning. Welcome to KDK Radio.
Good morning, Rob.
Hi,
And
Bill.
Lauren. How are you?
Good.
Great and perky. I'm on the way home from night turn, so I'm not quite as awake as you.
Okay, well, you go home and get some rest.
Here's my question. I put an offer in on a piece of property, 44 acres of property.
Okay.
I've been pre-approved for a VA mortgage, but I'm being told by the mortgage administrator that's handling the VA mortgage that the VA will not do a construction loan.
That's right.
It's getting kind of complicated. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. I found a mortgage vendor that will bring you on as your own builder.
Uh-huh.
So is it wise for me to go that route and then have the VA take over that mortgage after the construction's done? Or
Well,
just go ahead and stay with the original lender?
I would probably stay with the original lender. I don't know if the VA, and this would be a better question for your lender at some point, is going to take on that much acreage, 44 acres. I don't know. So you get your new construction done, and I don't know if even VA, this is a tough question. This is a question I've never had before. I don't know if VA does refis. They do.
Well,
They do
I'm
refis.
planning on- I don't have a mortgage on my current home.
Okay.
My mortgage is paid. It's paid on my current home. So what I wanted to do was do a line of credit, buy the property at that cost, and then use that for the construction loan.
Use that as your equity for the construction loan. Okay. Well,
Right.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
according to the lender, they'll take your property as basically a down payment or equity, interest only until the construction's completed, and then you're on your regular mortgage.
That's right. That's right.
Am I overcomplicating things by trying to get, because naturally a VA is not going to make you put in a down payment and you can finance the whole amount.
Right.
Am I smarter to do that or smarter to stay with the original lender?
I would probably just stay with your original lender.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't think there's going to be any difference in the rates for those, I would guess.
No, it should probably stay right around the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, Bill.
All right, thanks, Lori. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Isn't it nice to have someone like you just a phone call away? He's probably so happy that he can call and get that answer.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Tough question.
It is a tough question, and I would probably want to check in with my lender guru on that after the show.
Text him.
Yeah.
Wake up. All right, let's get back to appraisal.
Well, aside from making your house show ready, if you have a list of updates or improvements that you've made to the house, I think it's a really good idea to leave those behind for your appraisal to check out, your appraiser rather. In my marketing materials, I do a features and updates sheet on a house that's been, that has a lot of updates, or in my description on the multi-list, I have a description of the updates made, but the appraiser's going to want to look at those and they can visually see, you know, that you have a new kitchen, that you have new bathrooms. So they take all of that kind of stuff into consideration. If you, and we would have gone over this pre-listing, but if something's broken, fix it before that appraiser gets there. And clean your furnace and clean any rust off of your hot water tank, those kinds of things. And if you want an updated market analysis, if your house has been on the market for a while and you're just getting to appraisal, maybe reach out to your agent to do a little fresh market analysis just to take a look at where houses have sold in the last 6 months, because that's where the appraisers really go to first.
Okay, how many of these things can you do without actually, you know, deciding to do the deal? I mean, can you get the appraisal and do all this stuff and still kind of be on the fence and maybe in a month or two revisit it? Or once you step out on that limb, can you not come back?
Well, once you're a seller and you've agreed to sell your house to somebody, you're in the game. And it moves. It's 45 to 60 days for most transactions with financing. And right now in the middle of spring, you know, sometimes a transaction will take a little longer, so we'll give it 60 days. But most people want to close in 45 days. And once you're a seller and you've signed on the dotted line, I agree to sell my house to you, you're in the contract. So it's going to move with you, whether you want to do or not.
Is it getting easier or harder, do you think, to sell a house today?
I don't think it's hard. I think it's all in the preparation and the expectations. I don't think it's hard. I think it's a little overwhelming. It's emotional. It's a busy time for people, but it's all temporary. And if you have a goal to move, and you know, you have to suffer through the temporary, overwhelming inconvenience of selling your house.
Listen, we've all heard the saying, as is.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever told someone after seeing a property, you may want to reconsider that because you could have more equity in this than you think, and just because you're out of town and this is your old homestead and your parents are both gone and nobody in the family wants to handle it and you basically want to wash your hands of it, you really should kind of weigh your options a little bit?
Well, it all depends on the finances of the person who's in charge of selling that piece of property. If they have money to make updates and improvements, or even just bring it up to municipal code, I would recommend that they do that at the very least, just municipal code requirements. And there are some people who Rob, just financially
can't do it.
They just can't. So that house has to be sold as is, and the buyer has to accept it and know what they're getting into. You know, maybe it needs a new roof and all new HVAC, or it needs a whole brand new kitchen. But the buyers have to be willing to accept that if the sellers can't, they just can't financially afford to do things to the house, and they just need to unload it.
Now, when you get a home inspection done, is that like after the appraisal or before?
It's typically before the appraisal, and sometimes I actually have the appraiser and the home inspector at the house at the same time. Then we're killing two birds with one stone, and that's great.
Yeah.
But typically your home inspection is going to come first. We want those done as soon as possible. And then while you're making your mortgage application, your lender will order the appraisal. So, you know, when that happens is really up to when the lender puts that appraisal order in, goes into a lottery system, it gets assigned to an appraiser, the appraiser calls the listing agent and gets it scheduled. So when that happens is really up to the lender.
All right, we're going to come back, talk vacant property, as in, you know, dirt, soil, property, real estate value, how you can really judge it, what you should look to maybe do to develop it, all of that stuff. But if you want to talk to her directly, it's 412-628-8286, PittsburghPropertyDiva.com. She is Lauren Klein, Coldwell Banker, Murraysville. If you want to talk to us on the air, 866-391-1020 or Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com. You can text us at that number as well. Brought to you by Red Automotive, the best deal in town. Good morning.
I don't want to forget.
No one covers Pittsburgh better than News.
Penny Lane, there is no
Penny.
Window Nation. Buy 2 windows.
But lately, I just say, you know what? All these other guys let the producers run the board, and that actually takes a little bit of a load off you.
Yeah.
And Brock doesn't mind doing it, so now next hour I'll run it, and every once in a while I'll run some things, but I'm letting these producers fire everything. I just know when to get out time-wise, and they just...
Yeah.
That way, if I ever get a studio at my house, it'll be a lot easier, you know?
Yeah. It is.
I wish I would have learned to
home.
appreciate it years ago, you know?
Yeah. I love to go places and travel, and Chris and I, we love to go out to dinner and go on vacation, but
Now, you guys ever eat at home? Like, just cook at home and eat at home?
I don't cook. I quit cooking.
Because I had to eat all the grease in the buffet, and then
I've never done that in my life, and I don't want to do it. I'm done with drinking. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. She is the Pittsburgh Property Diva, 412-628-8286. And again, we've been talking about seller's checklist, seller disclosure, appraisal, and now we're going to talk vacant property. That's the big ticket. So, I mean, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, if you're going to get a house, you want to build a house, first you got to look at the property. And there was always this thing, it's a quarter of an acre, or it's a half an acre,
Yeah.
it's an acre, it's partly wooded. I mean, there's so much that goes into vacant property. So
There's so much that
can you
goes
do?
into new construction and finding a lot to fit the house that you want to build.
Right.
Not every lot can accommodate every project. So it's really important to, in certain topographies, you know, do you have a high side lot, a low side lot? What utilities are available? How much are the tap-in fees? there's a lot to go into new construction, and I think a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just going to go pick a house out of a catalog and be able to plop it on this piece of land.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yes, you have to do your lot prep, excavate, remove any trees, and
what would possess someone in today's day and age with so much out there on the market? I mean, and I know you're for it all, but I just can't envision why somebody would want to build today.
Well, people have visions. They want what they want, and they can't find it already built, and they want...
Have you built?
Yes.
If you had to do it again?
No. Nope.
You can step down. No further questions.
Nope. But I'll tell you, while the process was going on, we really enjoyed it. It was fun. We had a good time designing the house and picking everything. It was just overload. It turned out to be way more expensive than we anticipated, and a lot of expenses that just...
You know what I hear from so many people that are like around my age, now they're actually my age, that they move into like a condominium, that have had property their whole life, and grass cutting and snow removal. Look at Chris over there.
Nothing like it.
They're like, I should have done this sooner.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I have a friend building these beautiful condos on the right there on the banks of the beautiful Beaver, Ohio River, where the confluence, they come together. And I'm literally thinking about showing up his house in an orange jumpsuit, not the one that I wore when I was gone for 6 months. That's another story. But one would, I'm just saying, I love to clean. I'm really tired. Let me just be your janitor and put me in a basement.
Right. You know? They might give you a free apartment.
But it's absolutely beautiful what he's doing. And I'm thinking, if I was like 60, which I am, why would you want to do all that work? Go in there, and if you can afford it, live there and wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, look out over the river and go, I don't have to cut any of that grass.
Some people like that, and most people are too busy. I have clients right now who have a house that they built, and they are so busy with their children. I think they have, I want to say they have 4 or 5 children. They're so busy with these kids that they don't have time to take care of the house, so they're not even enjoying it.
But here's the thing, and I think, Chris, grab that microphone, Chris. I think you'll relate to this. When our parents, and your mom and dad too, it was therapy for them. My dad used to love to get out because he was in that mill 5-6 days a week, literally, and I've been inside that mill when it was around. It's no longer there, thanks to the good people at Royal Dutch Shell. But it was like a living, you know what, it was a filthy, dirty, ugly place to be. And he spent his whole life in there, so when he would come home, plant a little garden, cut the grass, take the shirt off, crack a beer, that was enjoyable. But it's a different world today, and it's almost like adding work on top of work, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about building a house, it was a great experience.
It was. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, so I don't want to discourage anybody.
No. And if you're younger, it's a good thing.
Yeah. At my age, I mean, I'm in my late 40s, and
condo.
Just like, oh yeah,
the whole day.
Can't wait. You know, I mean, and I have 2 acres. I mow 2 acres. It's got some hills. You know, Lauren knows. I actually enjoy it. That's a man's time to think. That goes back to what you were saying. My dad would mow the lawn. I knew, like, leave him alone.
Right.
That was it. That's what he did. And that is for me. But now after 3 summers? 3 summers of 2 acres.
You're like,
no thanks.
I'm ready for the doorman to say, welcome home, Mr. Klein.
Yeah. Well, my dad built our house. My dad built the house.
I don't know how he did what he did. Teacher, real estate, building a house.
And my mom and dad still live there, and they put a new kitchen in. They finished the basement, put another bathroom in. They're on, I think, I want to say 3 acres.
My
mom, I love you. She mows the lawn
on a rider.
Too,
Mom. I do. I love you, Mom.
Save me a piece of ham.
I love her. My mom gets on the little John Deere tractor with her sun hat on.
Oh, you got John Deere.
And she mows the compound. And I know it. I say, oh, Mom, why are you out there? She says, I like it. I like just driving around.
Listen, there's nothing better than the sight and the sound of all of that and the smell. But when you get older, and it's just a fact, you get tired.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just, my dad got a riding lawnmower and he learned to be able to trim on a riding lawnmower. The guy, it was like Evel Knievel up on 2 wheels, you know, because he just, listen, you get to a point in your life where you want to enjoy the things that you've worked for, and strapping yourself up on a tractor 2-3 hours a week. And I know some people, 2 acres, that's more than a day in some cases. So there's nothing wrong with all of it. But I love the idea of what's happening in your industry, where people are getting the townhouse living, they're getting these, we talked about condominiums, these A-frames, these
so
marble
many
slabs.
choices.
Oh, yeah.
So many choices. And for those who want to build, just know that it's not a real cut and dry process. It's fun and it's expensive, but if that's what you want and you really want everything you want in one house and you can design it, then it's very exciting and it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of work.
You know, in closing here, we only have a couple of minutes left in the broadcast today. We want people to know, though, it can be a really joyful experience. And I want you to remember what I talked about at the outset of the show today. Honestly, when I came to that stop sign and I saw that couple going in that house, first off, I said, I really wanted that house. But no, I was just, it was such a breath of fresh air to see the whole process still unfold of people who actually have hopes and dreams, and they really think that this is going to set them off on a journey that they're going to look back on and just have great memories, okay? Yes. And that makes you feel good.
And anytime somebody chooses you to help, chooses me to help with that selling or buying experience, it truly is a privilege to be able to be part of that. And
you come here every week, Chris, too. You really love what you do.
I absolutely do. I love it, and I might complain about it, and I might be tired and cranky sometimes, but I love it. I can't get away from it.
But isn't it true?
I try to take time off. I can't.
But isn't it true the most rewarding experience, though, is getting that home done for someone who just didn't think it was possible?
Yes, absolutely. It is my biggest pleasure. It really is. And I want to wish everybody a happy holiday weekend.
Passover, Easter.
I want to say hello to Peggy and Penny this morning. Happy Easter or Passover. Have a great holiday weekend. Rob, it's always so nice to be here with you.
You're not leaving yet. We have 3 minutes left.
I know. I didn't want to forget to get my happy holiday in there.
Getting to work today was kind of like all 6 Rocky movies, okay? And literally on the canvas, grabbing the turnbuckle going, please just get me to my feet, okay? It has been a rough couple of days. But, you know, the thing, too, and you can't lose sight of this, that like that young couple, and I keep going back to them because we all were there once, okay? If you can get into a home, and this is what my dad used to always say, God rest his soul. If you can get into a home, get into a home. Even if you have to, you know, bend and break the rules a little as far as your spending habits and how you live, get into a home. Because you will blink and 30 years will be gone.
There are so many different financing options for people, like Bill that called.
Yeah.
He's doing a VA loan, 100% financing. You have no down payment. There's USDA for certain territories that qualify for 0 down payment, 100% financing. Then you have your FHA product. That's only 3.5% down. You can ask for seller assist. We haven't talked about seller assist, and maybe we'll talk about that next week. But seller assist is something very important for the buyers out there who have enough for their down payment, but are a little tight on their closing costs, which can be expensive too. So you're asking the seller to help you with your closing costs, and more often than not, you're writing a full price offer or over full price to get that seller assist back. We could talk about that next week. But there are so many different options out there for buyers and people who want to buy a house who don't think they can. Sometimes it's surprisingly easy.
Interest rates are pretty good right now.
They're not bad. They're good.
Compared to where they even were, you know, when I got my house many years ago. I mean, it's gravy time. Now's the time to really jump in with both feet.
Well, we're in the 4s now, and it changes every day. And
it's not too shabby, though.
No, it really isn't. And I know everybody gets excited about the interest rates, but they change every day, and things happen in the economy, and rates fluctuate.
All right, love on Coldwell Banker for a moment, then we're going to say goodbye. We got 1 minute. Coldwell Banker, why do you just love working and representing Coldwell Banker Marysville?
We have the best agents, the best technology, the best reach, the market share, and we really do take our business very seriously. If you haven't had a chance to get your tickets for the Purse Bash and you still want a ticket, it's April 20th.
For Make-A-Wish. For
Make-A-Wish. That's our big fundraiser for the year. And you can always message me or email me if you want to get a ticket. They're $50 for regular tickets and $100 for VIP, April 20th at the Doubletree Hotel in Monroeville.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the incredible talent of Lauren Klein, Pittsburgh property diva, Coldwell Banker, Murraysville. Equally talented, her incredible husband. He is Chris Klein, of course, Pittsburgh Beautiful. Look him up on Facebook. You'll absolutely love what he does. He is a maestro with Facebook and social media. Incredible work there. All right, folks, stay with us. We're going to continue. News next at 9, then we're back.
Talking earlier about
Yeah.
What's that?